Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. For the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonia Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk for America.
Welcome, everybody, one and all, to Prim and Proper Sports. I'm your host, Sonia. I'm joined tonight by B. Strilla and Mike Tipton. You guys know them from the network National Streaming Sports. Download the Roku app so that you too can be in the know when we are 24/7 sports without the cost of cable. 12,615 likes, follow, subscribe so far. Trying to hit that goal of 15,000, and it's because of you that we are almost there. So thank you so much, and welcome to the YouTube and Facebook audiences as well. Guys, we have talked ad nauseum on all of our other shows about Aaron Rodgers, about Russell Wilson, of course. If you didn't watch the show, I was just on at 6 p.m., the professional sports show with these gentlemen, as well as myself and Jay Train and Keith Angle, as well as Bo Crouch earlier at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch that. We talked ad nauseum about whether or not Shedeur Sanders is going to be going to the Giants, despite the fact that they picked up Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. May as well be Wilson at the performance.
Okay.
Guys, I will actually start our show off talking a little bit about that, because that hour went by so fast, and with that many people on a platform, you don't really get an opportunity to express your true sentiment over that. And then we'll delve into some non-famous names that are just as valid candidates for the draft that is not getting that much publicity. So guys, what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I was thinking about this, right? Like Jay Train said on the show at 6 o'clock that Shedeur Sanders was going to be a top 10 pick. And I thought to myself, I was like, how can you say that, man? Because if the Giants don't draft him, I don't see, New England's not going to get him. I don't think Jacksonville is going to get him. Maybe the Las Vegas Raiders. But then I had to realize what team is picking number 9. And that's the New Orleans Saints. So there's a small possibility that the New Orleans Saints, because are you going to trust Derek Carr? Are you going to trust Spencer Strider? Is that going to be the guy? So maybe J Train's just trying to hype up his guy because he feels like if there's just the possibility that the Giants don't draft him, which I think all of us would say it'll probably be better for the Giants not to draft Shedeur Sanders, that if the Giants don't draft him, he'll be right there at number 9 for the New Orleans Saints.
That's what Jack said. Jack's been saying that from the Mac and Jack show for a couple of weeks. And I think B. Strilla even hinted at that Shedeur, if he goes top 10, he's going to be number 9. And then he falls to the Saints. And the Saints really could use him. Let's be clear. Derek Carr is not their quarterback of the future. They've given him endless opportunities in that franchise, and he just is not where he needs to be. I don't know if it's because they've had coaching changes or what have you, but now they have a good, solid coach because they got your guy up there from the Lions squad that went all the way to the postseason, very highly rated. Excuse me, was it Aaron Glenn? Who?
No, it's Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore from Philadelphia, Super Bowl champion.
He used to be with the Saints. I always mix that up. But so, I mean, Strilla, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's a good plan. Actually, he has a better Shedeur will have a better structure around him. As he said, Derek Carr is there. I mean, I think that's a good place for him to go. I do. The conversation isn't about Shador based on the Giants. The Giants are just doing some loopy things,
Right.
and you're putting Sanders in a spot where he's not going to succeed. That's how I feel.
Yeah,
because it's got too much going on.
And that's kind of what I was thinking too, right? Like these signings, like you either get Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston. You don't get them both.
right.
And it seems like a weird signing for the Giants to say, okay, yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have 4 quarterbacks basically on our roster because Tommy DeVito's a fan favorite. Like I know people are like, you can move on from Tommy DeVito, but if you have anyone as your third string quarterback, it's Tommy DeVito. And I know that you like there's people out there saying, oh, well, there's no guarantee that Jameis Winston's even going to be on the roster because there's no guaranteed money to Jameis Winston at any point in this contract. So maybe he just won't be there. But why do you go out there and make these moves? Like none of these moves make sense if you're the New York Giants. Like it's such a weird route to go. And if you do draft Shedeur Sanders, you can't just have your number 3 overall pick sitting on the bench.
Right. That's my point. Like, I don't know how people, and it's mostly Giants fans. It'd be good to hear Mac's perspective on this. Mac is a longtime Giants fan. Of course, Mac, get well soon. We miss you on the network. He's pretty level-headed when it comes to what's really going on with his team. He doesn't get overly hype about drafts or trades or anything like that. He kind of has the wait and see. However, you have these Giant fans that are out there, and some of them we know that are overzealous because they know that they're in a win now position. But sadly, you're not going to win now. No love lost. New York is not going to be a winning franchise next season. Next year, this time, Daboll and the whole little crew will be gone on to somewhere else.
Well, that's with or without Sanders.
Exactly.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
And I don't even know if they'll necessarily be gone by then, right? Like if there was a time to get rid of them, it would be now. It like the worst thing you can do for a young quarterback is have a bunch of different coaching staffs. So maybe you keep them on, through this year, through next year. If they draft Shedeur Sanders, the worst thing they can do is just fire all the coaching staff and just play musical chairs at offensive coordinator, at quarterbacks coach, at head coach, because we've seen. Look at what San Francisco did with the first 8 years of Alex Smith.
Right.
Like they don't need to repeat that trend.
But I mean, you're talking about the Giants that just gave away money to Jameis Winston, and they're still talking about drafting a quarterback for what? Just greedy. Like it's irritating because it's like, we don't have a dog or a cat, no pun intended, in the fight, but it's just good common sense. Like you don't need to have 3 brand new quarterbacks on your team at one time. That's insane.
Well, for me as a Cowboys fan, I want it, right? Like give me all 3 of them because all it's going to do is just hurt the Giants as a whole.
Right.
Like, because,
you want it against them, right? But you wouldn't want it for your own team.
No, God, no.
It's stupid. It's really ignorant. And so, I mean, but we're seeing ignorant choices across the board. The only smart thing we saw, and as much as I criticize the Falcons, and I think that's just because of the rivalry, they only picked up 1 quarterback. They got rid of Taylor Heineke, they got rid of Desmond Ridder, and then they paid Kirk Cousins, and then they got Michael Penix Jr. as their backup quarterback. They didn't have 5 quarterbacks on their roster. That is insane. 4 and 5 quarterbacks is insane, and especially the names that they are. Those are big name quarterbacks. That's not just like, you're bringing in a backup, like, I don't know, somebody that's just hasn't been around for a while.
And as we've seen with like the recent trends in the NFL, like you're not suiting up 3 quarterbacks. Like it just doesn't happen that way.
Right. So I don't know. It's going to be a bated breath to see what happens. My whole theory is I can't wait to see wherever Shedeur is drafted so we can see how he is without his father's influence.
I can honestly say I think it's either going to be number 3, like even if the Giants trade out of that spot, or it's going to be number 9, because I think out of all those teams that are ahead, New Orleans is the only team that really needs a quarterback right now. Like Vegas draft or trading for Geno Smith, you still might get a couple of years out of Geno Smith.
Yeah, and CBS Sports is saying the same thing. It's like it's such a, like as of 2 hours ago, they're saying Russell Wilson's signing doesn't prevent the Giants from trading back into round 1 for a quarterback. So it doesn't matter. They could draft him. It's production to me, productivity, and what happens overall with or without him. Like we've all said, Giants. It's hard for me to believe they're going to turn around their season completely with the coaching staff they have and those players as if they're the Washington Commanders. They are not the Washington Commanders.
Can I take a quick second right now to give a shout out to my TikTok audience that's tuned in right now?
Absolutely.
Normally I don't go live on TikTok. I'm trying a new thing. Shout out to the people that are tuned in on TikTok. I've already got some gifts. Look at that. Your boy's getting gifts.
There you go. There you go.
Share.
It's because they knew about the 89.3% NCAA tournament bracket. Your boy knows some stuff.
I am going to go over to your TikTok right now and share it to mine. Because that is what, or actually, I think you have to share it. I think you have to share it to my inbox, and then I can share it that way. If you'll share your live, that'll be super awesome. Because I don't even see. Oh wait, there you are. There you are. I think I got it.
Wow, she's like, I don't even see your live, bro.
I got you. I'm just trying to see if I can add it to my story. For some reason, TikTok doesn't let you just create or anything. Like you just have to actually you have to like share it. It's so weird.
Oh, the Pretty Sports, the Pretty Sports has joined. Oh, look at that.
That's me. And I'm sending a gift because we really appreciate it. All right, so let's talk about some of these other teams, these other players, should I say, or possible players that could be drafted into the league that are not getting that much hype. Let's start with you, Strilla. Who would you guys like to see come to the Lions that can get you back where you need to be and even all the way to the Super Bowl? You guys have your eye on any particular person?
A defensive end that has a heartbeat.
Anybody, right? Anybody with a heartbeat. I got you.
Right. Any defensive end that can produce, right? I mean, there's so many draft simulations that have us picking a defensive end, and it doesn't really make a difference. We were high up on what's his name? Will Green or Green. Yeah.
Okay.
We were high up on Green, but of course he has character issues, and that's something the Lions don't like they don't like drafting people, or they don't like people with character issues, players with character issues.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And Brad Holmes is really pretty good about drafting. I think that's about the best thing he does for the Lions. He's not the greatest free agent drafter, obviously. I mean, free agent guy, but as far as defensive end, I wouldn't mind seeing like Mikael Williams from Georgia, Shamar Stewart. I'm telling you, any one of these defensive ends, they all have it's rich in defensive ends this year. So, I mean, anybody that's in the top, if Detroit moves up, which I don't know if they're going to do, it depends on what the rest of their off season is to the draft. If they get, my feeling is if they get back Zadarius Smith, then that means they're either going to take a defensive end at 28 instead of moving up to take one. I think they really need a defensive end that's going to be copacetic besides Aiden Hutchinson, because they need that. That defensive line needs that right now, and they've done a very good job.
The projections they have at like number 28 are going to be people like James Pierce out of Tennessee, right? And like to me, that's a great fit, right? Like I don't even think Detroit needs to trade up to get themselves a serviceable guy. Like you don't need another like Aiden Hutchinson. You just need a guy like what Dallas had, right? And I hate to bring it back to the Cowboys, but you had DeMarcus Lawrence, and then you had Micah Parsons. DeMarcus Lawrence would collapse. Micah Parsons would get the sacks, right? That's what you need. You need a guy that takes the pressure off of Aiden Hutchinson. What's he going to be like whenever he comes back off of the surgery after we saw that terrible broken leg that he had? He's going to want to have something to prove. So all it is, you just get a warm body out there, right? Really, like you're right. Just someone with a heartbeat, someone that can go out there and take some space. And as long as you create pressure, you're leaving it wide open for Aiden Hutchinson. My friend, my guy, Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah. And I mean, Aiden Hutchinson, he is the truth.com. So
Yes.
You know, if you guys, I mean, he's literally like on big baller status. So solidifying somebody that gets with him and all that good stuff, like you can't go wrong with him. Anybody else you guys thinking about?
So
Oh, go ahead.
okay, so obviously I'm going to be biased with my Dallas Cow. Like I'm not wearing any of the Dallas Cowboys stuff right now. I figured I wouldn't be that much of a jerk to wear all the Dallas Cowboys stuff. But there's a part of me that I feel like, you know, there's like a 5% chance. I'm going full Dumb and Dumber here, right? Like you're saying there's a chance that Ashton Genty falls to the Dallas Cowboys. And if Ashton Genty, because we've seen there's not a premium on running backs anymore, right? Like
At all.
like and if you can get a running back at value in the first round, I feel like that's a good thing the Dallas Cowboys do, right? Like they obviously, and my whole thing was the Cowboys are going to build around Rico Dowdle. Well, they screwed me because
we have Rico now.
Yeah, now Rico's over there with Sonia. She's going to get to find out how awesome he is. And I'm sitting here with Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders as my running backs right now, and I am not happy about that at all. So for me, if you can get an Ashton Genty, you go out and get an Ashton Genty. But if he's not there, the Dallas Cowboys have two major issues. That's along the defensive line and the offensive line. I don't want a receiver. I don't want a cornerback. I don't want a quarter. I just want big, fat, beefy men slapping meat against other big, fat, beefy men. That's all I want. The fatter, the better.
How about we got to get the wins together. I mean, I guess you're talking like 0-17, but Strilla, I know you said there was some other people you guys had your eye on. Don't worry, we'll allow plenty of Cowboy time for you guys to lasso in your potential drafts.
Well, I mean, the other thing that I think that we do need, that's also been mentioned is safety, because we only have 3 safeties that are playable. And we were looking at Malachi Starks was one of the safeties that we were looking at. And I believe it was Nick Amenwari.
Y'all getting all the people with the names.
Amenwari, who's from, it looks like, he's from South Carolina. So he's a safety from South Carolina. He plays a nickels. He's kind of like Brian Branch in a way that we have, because he plays man zone slot and nickel safety. So I mean that would be a good addition, and of course an offensive guard, and there's plenty of those around too. So I mean there's like 3 guys that I figured that we can go after in a draft. You know, the Lions don't really have too many spaces open right now because they're pretty deep.
Right.
So the depth is a big thing, because Glasgow probably they'll probably have to replace him soon enough. We just lost Zettler to free agency. We're probably going to plug him with Christian Mahogany, who we got in a draft last year. He played pretty well in the 2 games he played. So I think just depth is basically what we're looking for after we get the defensive end, however we get the defensive end. And yeah, because this draft is not the greatest draft.
And I think that's the frustrating thing with this draft, right? Is like we're used to having big names all over the draft. And you can have like, a guy that's a first round can't miss talent. He does something stupid. He falls to the second round and you feel like your team has a shot at him, right?
Right.
It just doesn't feel that way with this.
It don't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
Not with this draft. It's like the one guy that I think we can all agree upon is like a can't miss prospect is Travis Hunter, right? And that's just because he's got so much around him. Like you see him and you're like, we can put him anywhere. He can be on offense, defense, special teams, whatever it is we need. Outside of that, the rest of this draft is super lacking. Like even at quarterback, it's like the fact that I'm seeing Jackson Dart's name in the first round shows you how bad it is at quarterback. That's a 3rd round quarterback at best.
This is not a heavily quarterback saturated draft, and we always say that. It's not an offensively saturated draft either, if you think about it.
And even along like the defense and offensive line, like outside of Abdul Carter, everyone else is like a guy that you've got to hope and pray he lives up to his potential, right? Like Abdul Carter's like the one can't miss guy on the defensive line.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Strilla?
I was going to say that the quarterback draft kind of reminds me of when Kenny Pickett was picked number 1 by Pittsburgh. Dang well he should have never been picked in the first round by Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh they just pissed me off with that whole pick. I was like, man, why would you do that? And the reasoning that Pittsburgh gave is because Dan Marino, they missed Dan Marino when they had him to draft because he was from Pitt. And they knew about Dan Marino when he was in college at the time. So they didn't draft him. So they figured, we're going to draft the next guy out of Pitt, Kenny Pickett. And the things weren't there. The stars weren't aligned for Kenny Pickett to be on Pittsburgh. First of all, the coach that they had at the time, the offensive coordinator, was the same offensive coordinator he had at Pitt, and he didn't do anything with. Mm-hmm. As soon as Canada left there, he sprouted up. But now you're going to draft him number 1, which is wrong in the first place. 2, you're going to put him under an offensive coordinator that he didn't do anything with. Why would you do that? That's just idiotic. It's, you know what? As a Lions fan, I'm glad my franchise can do better. Is doing better now and how they draft and how they go about things. Because now I can sit back here and say, yeah, I remember when the Lions used to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I really am just holding my judgment for the Panthers, to be honest with you, because they've been making so many moves in the free agency. I'm kind of just waiting to see if they try to move up. We're at number 8 right now, number 9, one of those. I can't
number 8.
It feels like we've traded somewhere, and we definitely don't want Shador if he falls down to number 9. I mean, we've got Bryce. We sold the farm. Bryce is looking a lot better. Bryce has already acclimated. This is now going into his 3rd season into the NFL, into the league, and we've got him where we wanted him. So basically, we're just building around him right now. We're building the team around him. That's what you got to do with your quarterback. We have Dan Canales that has now he's finished a full season. Shout out to David Taberman for letting a coach finish 1 full season. Thank you so much for staying out of it. That's the first coach we've had that's been able to finish a complete season in a long time. And we can finally breathe a sigh of relief. However, let me just put this small plug in. It came out yesterday that they are raising Panthers season ticket prices by 7%. I'm a season ticket holder. What are you doing? For what? After 7 losing seasons in a row consecutively, are we getting stadium renovations or something? Why are we getting our, I'm just like, are they putting a retractable roof in? What's happening?
I can answer that question for you. You raise the ticket prices while Bryce Young is still a questionable quarterback. And then whenever the team gets good, you can say, hey, now we can raise the ticket prices one more time. Like it's all about business, baby. It's all about that money.
But actually, Bryce, looked really good. He was ranked like the top quarterback a couple of the latter weeks of the season, like the top out of everybody.
He might have been the best quarterback in North Carolina at that time, but I don't think he was top out of anything.
No. Week 10, and I can't remember the other week, he was ranked number 1 for that specific week of all NFL quarterbacks that were starting.
Sonia, you're doing the ESPN thing of like LeBron James is the first player to score this many points on a Thursday night at 5:15 p.m. in the first quarter with 5 minutes and 14 seconds left.
Nope. It's facts over here. I'm going by CBS Sports article. I'll be glad to pull it when I put this phone down because I'm on TikTok Live myself as well. The
CBS North Carolina.
No, sir. Don't be a hater because you guys are still garbage after 40 years.
Damn.
And y'all are
she
going
just
back.
Out garbage.
Least, yeah, right. I mean,
hey, y'all have won as many Super Bowls as my team has in the same amount of time.
You got all the rings you're going to see in your lifetime, buddy. You've already
at least I've seen a ring, and I've seen 3 rings in my lifetime.
Yeah, 3. Very good. 3 times is a charm, and there you have it. Kudos to you, kind of like your bracket that has been AI generated.
Oh my!
That's why you got 89% Strilla.
That's all right. That's all right because I got 72%. I went up from 53 to 72%. See,
I know that's right. I need to. has
Sonia's bracket's in that 0.0%.
only because I think so my picks are good, but I think that my drafts and stuff are still the same because I entered late. I don't.
So Sonia was like, "Let me get out of this first round."
Well, I
before
told you that's
figure
what it
out who I'm
was,
gonna
Sonia,
choose."
because you came into the bracket thing late, and it's not my rules. Like I said, it was the NCAA thing rules. So,
but the thing is, I had, like you guys know, I had them handwritten, and on top of that, I am able to still see what I've gotten right and what I've gotten wrong. I will say, I think that Arizona game against UConn, I got wrong because I thought UConn was still going to go, or maybe Gonzaga or somebody. But I know you got all that there. But that's neither here nor there. All right, Tip. It is a trip because I'm thinking Strilla and Tip at the same time. Strip. Okay, just strip.
Hey yo.
How is
that's a man's thinking.
That is.
That's what that is. That's a man's thinking.
Hey, all I'm saying is y'all come to El Paso. I got the hookup for you. I just saying.
Introducing Border Patrol Babes. The Border Patrol Babes.
Hey, I worked at a radio station every Friday and Saturday night. Guess where I was every Friday and Saturday night with that radio station? I'm
Border
just
Patrol Babes. He was at Border Patrol Babes. Right down there in El Paso. All right, so we know. So first of all, there's rumblings that the Cowboys may take a quarterback somewhere in the draft.
No.
No.
So J Train mentioned this earlier today during the professional sports show, and the thing is Dak has a no trade clause in his contract. So he unless he really wants to go to Cleveland and Cleveland really wants to make this deal happen, there's no way that's going to happen, right? The Cowboys have so much money sank into Dak that if they were to draft a quarterback, it's not going to be Cam Ward. It's not going to be Shedeur Sanders. It has to be a guy that you can guarantee is going to come in and change what the trajectory of the franchise is right now. As far as the Dallas Cowboys go, all you need is help on the offensive line, the defensive line, and you've got enough weapons out there that you can be okay, right? Like you're not going to win the division because I think Washington's winning that division. I think Philadelphia's going to take a big step back because of all the players they lost. But the Dallas Cowboys, as long as you're not worse than the Giants, I think you're going to be all right. Prepare for next season. You'll be okay. But there's no way they're trading Dak.
So who do you get then if you don't trade Dak? Like where do you fill in the holes for the Cowboys?
So right now the projections are that they get Kelvin Banks Jr., who's an offensive lineman out of Texas, and I'm fine with that, right? Like because that's what you need. Again, big beefy men slapping meat against big beefy men. That's what the Dallas Cowboys need. And like if they draft a defensive lineman, if they draft a running back, like if by some miracle of God, Ashton Genty's there, you get Ashton Genty. But I don't think
he's a big name.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to be there. So just address your offensive or defensive line, and I'm a happy guy. Big beefy men.
I love your analogy, but it's so broke back mountain.
I know. I'm like,
in case you don't know right now, I just sink right into it.
Oh my gosh!
If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see every time I talk about the Dallas Cowboys, I have a shirt that's made too. I'll bring it on the next time. It says, "I hate that I love them." Right, like that. That's my relationship with them. I hate that I love this team. Big beefy men. That's all I need.
What's up, Blue Phoenix? How you doing, Fred? Good to have you on tonight. He said he agrees with that viewpoint 100%. That was a few minutes ago. I'm sorry I missed that comment. And he says, love that thought on the Cowboys. Linemen are needed, period. And Dennis, hello, Dennis Cochran and the Trailer Park Country Band. Dennis got to come on here and make a very important announcement soon. He says, I learned most of what I know about football and football fans by watching your shows. Much love and good night to you, Dennis. Thank you so much from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, way out. And he's going he's got to work. He's got to work tonight, and they are a few hours behind us. Jeffrey, I'm seeing all of your comments, and let me just go ahead and address them because I know you make this same comment on all of my platforms, and they are much appreciated. But Cam Newton will not be coming back to the Panthers. I wish they would. Yes, I wish our city would be full of Super Bowls like you're saying, but they just won't do that. And unfortunately, I don't have the pool or anything to make that happen. I met Cam a couple of years ago. He's super cool, But I think the Cam Newton era in Carolina is over, especially because they've already brought him back one time, and there it is. And I'm glad you're saying he's your role model. That's super awesome, Jeffrey. And thanks for always chiming in and showing the love. So yeah, guys, it's just one of those things that we all are looking to see, who we can get. I know they're saying the Panthers be matched with McMillan. We're trying to get some additional running backs and wide receivers. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think we need to get a whole bunch of those because we got Xavier Leggett. Hopefully Jonathan Brooks comes back healthy this year. He only played a couple of games last year because he was medically cleared too soon and got re-injured. And therefore, some of the medical personnel in Carolina were terminated because of that. And so new medical staff and hopefully a healthy Jonathan Brooks. I mean, let's be clear. The Panthers took a gamble on him anyway because he was injured coming into the draft. It wasn't like he had an injury that he recovered from like Michael Penix Jr. He was injured. Like, I think he was injured right during the draft, like right before the draft. And there was a couple of years I watched the draft. Somebody was in there on crutches, and I was like, wow. Like, you really have to believe in the potential of that player to draft them when they are, handicapped, at least in a temporary standpoint. Wouldn't you agree, Strilla?
Yeah, I mean, that's the same chance that the Lions took on Jamison Williams. He was injured. He had an ACL injury, and they let him sit for a year to recover from that injury. And he's turning out to be a good player. I mean, a lot of people are going after his off-field antics, but he's just he's not. Sometimes it's just being in the wrong place at the wrong time for him, and that's not really good to look for an NFL player usually. But he's turned out to be a pretty good receiver, and he's doing his job. He's made a lot of game-changing plays since he's been inserted into the offense. So, I mean, those are chances that you take. If you see a potential in somebody, that's what it is,
It's always going to be a gamble, though,
Yeah, true.
And that's kind of how I feel with like Tet, right? Like Tet McMillan's one of those dudes where like he could be drafted top 5, and I've seen him drafted in like the second round, and it's because of all the off-field issues and things like that. The personality issues that might be out there. If Carolina can get a wide receiver like that, I feel like you're doing something good. You got a 6'4" receiver who can go up and get the ball. That's your possession guy. That's the guy that keeps the ball moving down the field. So if he's there, you got to draft a talent like that because now you give Bryce Young a security blanket, right? Like that's
like
what
he's lying us with a blanket because
but
like
that
small, I guess.
Every quarterback needs that, right? Like Tony Romo with Jason Witten, he needs that, right?
Yeah.
Matt Stafford, whenever he had Calvin Johnson, you need that guy that is going to get that ball no matter what. And Ted McMillan is that guy that's going to get that ball no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what, and that's what it comes down to. Just having that's why you have your talent scouts. They got to know when they're looking at talent how to differentiate between, what a player was and their potential, despite what may have, happened to them, as far as any limitations with injuries, if you think that player has the propensity to come back from that injury. And speaking of, let me just take a small plug. I'm just going to insert this in here because I have not had a live show on my platform since this happened. Juju Watkins, Juju Ball, and I'm a huge Juju fan. Unfortunately, she has an ACL tear. She should have had her surgery, I think, today or yesterday. Suffered in that game against Mississippi State. They went on to win, of course, USC. However, she's out this season and probably a portion of next season. But hopefully, she's young. She's 19 years old. Was already dealing with some wrist injuries. Had already been playing, holding her wrist, what have you. But now this ACL happened the other night. So we wish her a speedy recovery. Of course, that does not change the trajectory of the women's basketball movement that is continuing to go on. Dawn Staley, once again in these finals and getting it done for the Lady Gamecocks. So definitely worth keeping your eye on. The University of North Carolina Tar Heel, their ladies are still in it despite the Tar Heels themselves being eliminated. the University of Connecticut, UConn Husky, the ladies, they are still in it despite the defending UConn champion men's team being eliminated. And it is clearly March Madness. Guys, I do kind of want to talk about it a little bit because we haven't talked, up to date. You guys see I'm repping my Duke, guys. It's time for a new shirt. This is the 2019 edition. I saw that Tip got strangled. I don't know why. I guess because he's realizing his bracket is about to be busted, despite him saying he's got this AI generated 90 percentile correct guesses. I almost had given you props though, Tip, and it just dawned on me as I was talking a few minutes ago. Oh, we have AI. That's how he got it done. Duh, nothing's
okay. No, so I'll say this. I did it on my show. You can go back. You can watch the show on Thursday. I filled out my bracket on Thursday on the show. I'm all about accountability.
With your phone right beside you, with AI already pulling it up.
Girl, I'm 41 years old. I don't know how to use all that technology. I'm 100% against AI because it takes people's jobs like mine.
Yeah, they really do. And
you know how sexy my voice is? They can steal my voice. I don't want that.
Probably already generated.
Damn.
Probably doing like candygrams or something.
What?
Hold on. I gotta be like, okay, ladies, look. If you want a voice like this, don't go to AI. You just got me right here. Sonia took herself out. I love that.
I had to go off screen. Just in time for Valentine's Day 2025.
Hey, yo, I mean, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, your birthday, your mama's birthday. I don't care. I'm an equal opportunity lover, baby. I got this for you.
And you have it. He needs to be doing my commercials, clearly. Maybe I'd get some more, more views and stuff. Strilla, you got anything to say? Wow.
I can't follow that one. I can't follow that.
Strilla is from the D Tweezy, home of the Claws, the Lions. If the Panthers don't win the next NFC, you're looking at your next champion in the Strilla's Lions. So it's Lions or Panthers. It's going to be a feline that wins next year. Let's be clear. The cat family. All right, guys. So, it is March Madness. And I mean, Strilla, I know you are a Michigan State, or is it Michigan? Which one are you?
I love all my Michigan teams. I don't really have a Michigan or, I'm not really standing out for either one of teams. Mm-hmm. I'm in Michigan. I never went to either one of the schools, so I don't really care either way.
You are equal Michigan Tunis.
That's right. If Western Michigan was in there, go Broncos.
It's Michigan Community College.
Right. Exactly.
You're there. Mm-hmm. And Tip, I'm sure you're representing all things H-Town and El Paso.
Houston's 800 miles away from me. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but you're rooting for them, right?
No, I'm a Texas Tech fan. You can't see it back there, but like right there is the Texas Tech flag.
Yeah.
I'm a Texas Tech fan. And remember, I said this on Friday with the fellas. I said this. I don't watch college basketball until March Madness. So I filled up my bracket blind as all hell. I was just like, I'm going to go with big names that I know and I recognize. And that's exactly what I got. The people on TikTok can see the Texas Tech flag hanging up behind me. I graduated from the University of Texas at El Paso, formerly known as Texas Western. So there we go. 1966 national championship. It's the only thing we have in El Paso. Don't take it away from me. I love it.
So is Houston still, is Texas Tech or Houston or somebody, is Texas Tech still in it?
Texas Tech and Houston are both still in it. There's a very slim but possible chance that both teams can end up in the national championship game. They're on opposite ends of the bracket. Nothing would make me happier as an annoying Texan. You can see the MLB All-Star Texas hat that I have right now. Yes. Nothing would make me happier than as an annoying Texan to be like, this is going to be an all-Texas final, baby. Let's go.
Welcome to March Madness, home of El Paso, Texas' own. And
Giddy up.
But both teams are more than 400 miles away from me.
Okay. Well, kind of like the Panthers. I'm from North Carolina. They are 373.
Yeah, but you're also two states away. I'm in the same state.
Oh yeah. We know how Texas is. They think they the whole.
I'm closer to San Diego and LA than I am to Houston.
Oh wow, how close are you to LA?
LA is about 12 and a half hours away. Houston's about 15 hours away.
That is not close. I'm thinking, okay, well, how close are you to the border? How about that?
Oh, I can throw a rock and hit the border. Yeah, no, I grew up like 10, not even like 10 minutes walking from the border. Like it was not a thing. Like I was 14 years old. I had a beard. I had a deep voice. My voice changed when I was 10. I was crossing the border and drinking underage as much as possible.
Aren't we proud of him, guys?
You should be.
All right, and it looks like Bo is on my TikTok. Bo, thanks for joining me, and please share this live.
Yeah, can I say that? Like Bo came after me whenever I did my sexy voice thing. He's like, "You make a case for robots." Like now he wants robots to replace me.
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
I thought I sounded sexy as hell.
Yeah, we don't want robots to replace you, Strilla. I know a lot of people are saying that they're banking that Florida's going to take it all. They're saying it's going to be, some people are saying Florida versus Duke, with Florida taking it all. Some people are saying Houston. Some people even saying Michigan. You know, I'm of course saying Duke will win it all. Who do you have winning it all?
I got Michigan State winning it all.
Oh, the
I
Trojans?
definitely don't have Michigan. No, the Spartans.
Spartans, sorry.
The
I'm looking
Trojan.
at
That's USC, lady.
Listen, I know what it looks like. I just thought it was a Trojan. It's the same type of mascot. They look alike. The drawing is the same. I don't see any differentiation.
Yeah, you put one on and then you just go 300 to the other one. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, Strilla. I was waiting for the Detroit to come out, and there it is. Parents, we apologize for any appropriate comments, but it is after 9
That's
o'clock.
right.
I was about to say it's 9 o'clock over there. Like that, those are perfect
it's 9
comments.
o'clock here.
And it's school time.
You're gonna make me
You'd
start
be
having
sleeping anyway.
a parental disclaimer on at the beginning of my show. Tip, I think I'll get you to do a voiceover for a parental disclaimer so I can put all thoughts and actions are prim and proper sports only.
The thoughts and opinions by the guests on Prim and Proper Sports are not that of Sonia Pearson.
Thank you. I have a prayer call at the end of my show. I'm like, yes, Lord. So
all right, Sonia, don't go there because we had a show a couple last Sunday that you kind of got a little bit out of hand on. But that's okay.
I know.
Okay, I need to hear about this.
No, just go on there and watch it.
No, like I ain't got time for that. I got both of you right here. I need the play-by-play of what happened. I need the recap, baby. Be Skrilla, you got me, my guy.
I'm trying to remember. I've had a couple of questionable moments, including the 6 o'clock show, even when Mac was on there. I think I talked about somebody losing their balls about something. I don't know, but I was not pleased. It probably was related to Aaron Rodgers.
What?
Speaking of, Aaron is, what are y'all's thoughts on?
Yeah, don't speak.
I've got to plug it in because we're in the last few minutes, and and our audience wants to know in case they missed it. They know how I feel. At least they should know. What is you guys' thoughts about Aaron basically telling the Steelers, "I'll get back to you"? Like, have you guys ever heard of a quarterback telling a team they'll get back to him and it's days later, or do they kind of just maybe take overnight to think about it?
B, I'll let you take this one first.
And hold on, there's a part 2 to that, and the fact that the Steelers don't have a choice in the matter. Like, you got rid of Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Like, oh my gosh.
Oh, there's always a choice. But wait, there's more. No, there's always a choice.
It gets worse.
I mean, they have a choice. I don't understand why people think that there's no other quarterbacks out there that they can get. It's just Aaron Rodgers is a big market guy. That's all there is to it. And he's in the news because of his dark place. And this is the ego that he has. So he thinks that, I'm going to wait until Friday so I can choose where I want to go. Dude, first of all, there's only one team that's in a running for you right now. So I don't know how many teams are choosing to go with you. I know Minnesota's probably trying to hold out in some hope, but Minnesota would be dumb to be doing that. I'd just go with J.J. McCarthy and whatever. And then Pittsburgh has so many options that they can do. Yeah, and I know that Keefe didn't really like the whole Joe Milton kind of thing, but I mean, they can trade a draft pick for a quarterback. Hell, they could trade a draft pick to the Lions if they were willing to give up a draft pick for Hendon Hooker. I mean, there's viable options out there, and then they can get Joe Flacco as a backup. Yeah, he's just about as old as Aaron Rodgers, but he ain't out there going to a dark place retreat either. And he's out, and he doesn't care if he's a backup. he likes the game of football. He'll be back there helping everybody out. You know.
Yeah, he definitely does not care about any of that. And I don't know, Tip, what's your thoughts? And then I got to talk to you guys about some big names that have not been picked up, not necessarily quarterbacks, but they have been moved out of the, off of teams' rosters, and they're out there like big names. And you're like, what happened,
So for me, I think with like the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have to do one of those things I don't think anybody loves to do, which is like look at yourself in the mirror. Like to me, right? A couple of weeks ago, I looked at myself in the mirror and said, damn, you're fat. So what did I start doing? I went to the gym, right? Like I started doing stuff, stop drinking so much beer. Let's start drinking, clear liquors and stuff like that. Maybe I'll find a way that I can lose a little bit of weight, right? I looked at myself. I made a self-assessment. Pittsburgh needs to look at themselves and say, we're not better than Cincinnati. We're not better than Baltimore. We're not going to win this division. Aaron Rodgers doesn't help us win this division. So maybe we look for the future, right? Like maybe we make some trades. Maybe we do something like that can help us build for the future. Because Aaron Rodgers ain't that guy. You're going to be in this exact same position next year. Why would you put your team through this and just waste the whole year without getting the draft pick? Because with Aaron Rodgers, they're not a playoff team, but they're a 7 to 8 win team. They're drafting 15, 16, and that's not where anybody wants to draft at. So just punt on the season if that's what you're going to do. Draft a quarterback next year and start building for the future.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this, and for the TikTok audience that's coming on, we are on live on YouTube. This is Prim and Proper Sports. You guys can join us over there by subscribing. I'm on with my weekly 9 p.m. show, so I'm looking at you now, so you guys can go ahead and do that. Thanks for the follows, likes, loves, and everything. 3,800 likes so far. Thank you guys so much. Listen, so this is my theory. Aaron Rodgers, I know that players always think of stuff. And yes, like Strilla says, there's always quarterbacks out there. What I would like to see, because I don't have a dog in a fight, but I do like Mike Tomlin's style of coaching. I hope they move on from him. I hope they don't let him make an agreement with them. I want the egg to be on his face. Like, yeah, you thought you were making us wait. We've already moved on, sir. Like, you thought you were making us wait. He's going to be 42 years old in December. I mean, the end of the year, but still 42 years old as a quarterback. You are no Tom Brady. Let's get that clear. So your time is ticking anyway as a quarterback. Everybody wants to be Adam Vinatieri. Everybody wants to be Tom Brady, and all these great quarterbacks that hung in there past 40 and actually were productive. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, has been on a decline for the last couple of seasons, even before the injury, and even while he was still with Green Bay, which would be before the injury. And so when you add performance issues, and now there's a personality issue and a professionalism issue that you can't seem to even take the hone and the reins of your team and mentor your teammates and take command and charge and bring your team to wins and keep the morale positive in the locker room, then it's time for you to take a sabbatical at home and regroup, or just take a sabbatical and be done with the league as a whole. Because your name at one time really did mean something. And he probably will still go into the Hall of Fame in some capacity. Let's be clear. Aaron Rodgers is not a busted quarterback. It's just his behavior and the lack of his interest. He doesn't even have a genuine interest anymore to seem like he really cares about football, that he really cares about his other teammates. This is the same guy that, I know people have their own familiar issues. He hasn't talked to his own siblings since 2014. None of them. Anybody that doesn't talk to any of your family, I mean, we all have families. We don't get to choose them. But if you're not talking to any of them, and you don't have anybody that anybody can ever say, okay, this is my friend. You see quarterbacks throughout the league that they're, okay, this is my friend over here with this team. I went to college with this guy. He's a standout dude. I vouch for him. When Aaron Rodgers went down and got hurt with that Achilles, you saw well wishes, but I never saw anybody come forth and be like, that's my guy. I wish him the best. It was generalized well wishes from people, but it wasn't one person that was like, that's my best friend.
I'll have to push back on that, because we've seen dudes like Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, Devontae Adams,
His player.
Even well, the offensive line, I can't think of his name right now, but the offensive lineman 6'9" at Green Bay, right? Like they all come out and they like love Aaron Rodgers. Maybe it's because of Stockholm syndrome or something like that, right? Like maybe that's what it is. You got to check my papers. Trust me, my papers are good. I'm a military veteran, guy.
Let me just go ahead and plug in right here. Robert, why do you come on and always have something negative to say about the Panthers? Why don't you worry about your garbage team? Now, you've said something in every show that you come on here.
How come you're
now
not defending?
You're talking about the Panthers and Dallas will be competitive this year for the 2026 first-round pick. Dude, worry about the fact that you guys don't even know what y'all are doing. You haven't been a winning team since Pete Carroll left. And I'm sorry, Bo, because I know Bo is listening to this team, but I'm sick of Robert Wardell. I really am sick of him.
Sonia, how come you're not defending my garbage ass team?
What?
How come you're not defending my garbage team? My team was in there catching strays too.
I don't know. You have to do your own defense. I can only defend for my team.
I cannot, and I will not defend that team. I hate that I love them. 0-17, baby. 0-17. Let's go.
I'm gonna defend. Hey, everybody coming on TikTok. So we got some people in the comments on YouTube. If you guys hop over there, you'll be able to see and chime in as well. And feel free to put your comments up here as well. We got some Seattle Seahawks fans of all people. I mean, who is y'all's score? Who did they just get? Who did they get?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold is not going. He's going to revert back to Sam Darnold from the Jets. All right, you heard it here first, Robert, with your garbage team. Anyway, moving along. This is how I feel about the whole thing. Like I said, I hope that the Steelers call up Aaron Rodgers before the weekend's over. Like, you know what, Aaron? Sorry, we decided to go elsewhere. And then you see him take his tail and run and hide. And yes, it is Stockholm syndrome, Tip, because we've also heard, of course some people say stuff to save face. Of course, if he goes down, like, it's kind of like, say, for instance, if I work with all of y'all and we got beef and everybody knows we have beef all the time. Like every time we're on air, we're getting into it every time. And it's like, you can tell.
This doesn't feel like a hypothetical. This feels like real life.
So say, for instance, one of us has some misfortune and I don't know, our car breaks down or whatever. We're like, oh my gosh, I hope your car gets fixed well, Tip. But really it's no emotion with it whatsoever. It's just saving face because you see everybody else coming out saying it and it's the right thing to do because you're on a public platform. It doesn't really matter. It's no emotion with it. It's no like, okay, I really wish this for you. It's just a statement. It's just a statement just to save face because you're part of a professional organization and everything. Robert, you're the best. I know that. I'm just, giving you some slack. So he's like, I'm only giving you crap this year because we play you. Oh, yeah, amp it up yourself, eh?
I feel like Sonia's just looking for conflict. Like she's just trying to find someone she can fight with.
People be coming for me. How can you say that? Look at these comments.
The other day you came after me like you were like, oh, Tip always brings up the Cowboys. When y'all brought up the Cowboys, I was just sitting here. I was just existing. And y'all were like, the Dallas Cowboys are terrible. And I was like, they are terrible. And you're like, how can you the Dallas Cowboys?
I keep trying to tell her she's an instigator. She instigates.
Stirring that pot, baby.
She instigates. She's an instigator.
I guess I'm going to change the name of the show. It's nothing prim or proper about this, huh? Let me give a public apology because Tip is really such a kind-hearted person. There was another kind-hearted person on the platform, but I got handed a dose of that earlier today, so I don't know if that's even anymore. But let me go ahead and tell you now, Tip. I apologize now. I guess because half my family are Cowboys fans and they do watch this show. So please don't take anything I say personally. It's just my dad was a Cowboys fan. He's no longer here. And I have family members that are carrying on as if he was still here, like they're paying homage to him. And, I don't hear from them except when Carolina and Dallas play. Then it's a whole bunch of yip, yip, yip. And then when the game is over, if they win, God forbid, I got to just shut it all down. So you got my apology here in person. And I'm going to do better. And Strilla is just sitting there
like. It's recorded.
He's the
I was about to say, I'm gonna chop that up. I'm gonna put it on my social media. I'm gonna be like, finally, somebody. They've taken the deflection. They realize they've taken it towards me. The rest of you Cowboys haters, it's not absolutely. Me. I'm sorry. I didn't do it to you. They used to be good. They haven't been good for 3 decades. Don't come after me. I hurt too.
Absolutely. So I don't know, guys.
Well, like I said, I said before, I don't have too many Lions fans friends because I speak the truth about my team, and they can't handle the truth. It's a few good men can't handle the truth. Can't handle it.
And that's my thing too, right? Like, I'm not one of these people talking about like this is our year. I'm not one of those people. I'm like, look, the Cowboys are going to be bad this year. They have Brian Schottenheimer and Matt Eberflus as their coaches. Another word was about to come out of my mouth. You heard it. It started with an F. Another word was going to come out. That's who they have as their coaching staff. This team is going to win 0 games. I want them to win 0 games. They win 2 games, I'm going to start throwing stuff at people.
However, Eberflus is a very good defensive coordinator. He's just not a good head coach.
Oh, so he might be Wade Phillips 2.0.
I call him shopping center. So I don't even anybody got a name like
that's the offensive coordinator. Yeah,
shopping center. But listen, the fact, and I'm sorry, Tip, I gotta say this because I don't talk a lot about. I promise you, I'm not gonna be too bad. But the fact that they didn't even try to look for a head coach, I've never seen a team promote an offensive coordinator that's already losing to the head coaching position. Like, they didn't even go out and try to find anybody. Like, what is going on? Like, why is there no effort whatsoever? That's all.
But I told you all about that, right? Like, Jerry Jones thought that Mike McCarthy was going to sit there and take the knee to him, genuflect to him, do all that because he's Jerry Jones and you're Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy grew a spine. Mike McCarthy said, I ain't dealing with this no more, left Jerry Jones with his pants down, and Jerry Jones was like, oh, crap, all the other good coaches have been hired. You're the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. That's basically what he did.
He would have been better off going to get Antonio Pierce from the Raiders. I would have given him more respect.
Even Gerard Mayo, just literally anybody except for Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer was the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. Whenever Russ was cooking, they wanted Russ to cook, but Russ was cooking hot dogs with cereal and eggs and orange juice. Like, it wasn't anything nobody wanted to eat.
Somebody on TikTok just said, and hi to the TikTok audience as well. Real Artist 23, thank you for joining me and thanks for the gift. He or she says, ask us Bears fans about Eberflus. Like, let me tell you, that is not going to be your best bet. Let me see if I got any more comments.
I saw Eberflus.
No. See, this is the Chicago. I never accept any comments from Chicago fans because they always hate on everybody else when they know their team is the one that screwed up in the first place. Now, nobody said Eberflus was a good head coach. I got you there. Yeah. But he is a great fan. He is a great defensive coach. He is. Look what happened to the Chicago's defense when he got fired. Took a nosedive. They were giving up 34 points a game at one point.
He said, well, you call that right, Tip. Hot dogs and Cheerios. Everybody says Russ eats that. Maybe he eats meals with his kids, Sometimes, when you have small kids, you just got to eat.
So you don't know how to cook?
I saw a thing on like Instagram today. It was like talking about like Russell Wilson's best moments where he was like, you got to be unlimited. You got to have that unlimited mindset. And I thought to myself, I can't wait till Micah Parsons lays this nerd out. Like, I'm just waiting for it. Like, if there's 2 games the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this year, it's going to be against the Giants because there's no way that team is going to beat any team that's out there. They're so bad.
Well, y'all heard it here first. You see Strilla's giving a thumbs up. That's his amen for it. And speaking of amen, this is where we amen the entire segment. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. It's always such a quick, swift hour, but this will re-air at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for the likes, loves, comments for everybody. Tip, Strilla, thank you guys for making Prim and Proper Sports tonight. It's always great to have you all. And of course, for the national streaming sports platform, shout out to Mac and Linda. Make sure you guys find, rate, and follow us over there and look for Prim and Proper Sports on YouTube and the Pretty Sports Lady on TikTok. And with all of that, guys, I'm going to bid everybody a good night. We'll see you guys at 9:00 on Friday night with the fellas. These 2 gentlemen will be joining me then. And everybody have a good one.